the end. Is this kind of the end of bowl prep for you guys? I mean, getting everything in, so when you get down to Nashville, it's just more of recollection and just fine tuning some things.
Well, we definitely done a lot of study on Tennessee and a lot of practice on them. At the same time, having a good combination of working the young guys and getting them plenty of repetitions, and gradually making sure the veterans are getting up to speed. And Monday and today was as much full speed work as we've done to get them back going. We'll have a little break here, and then we'll come back Sunday morning for what would be a Tuesday practice, and continue to proceed in preparation for Tennessee. But everybody's done a good job at this point, and I think they understand that we want to try to finish this thing off against a really good opponent, basically on their home field, and show what we're made of.
Are you going to be as healthy as you possibly can be for this game?
I think so. I think as far as season-ending injuries, those have happened, and those won't be back. But most people who have had nicks and sprains should be back and able to play the game.
Just that offense again, you're preparing for. Talked to Brad Lambert a little bit about it, and Jalen. Just something you haven't seen, Jeff. I know you've spoken about it before, but just some of the issues trying to prepare and simulate that out here.
Well, I feel like we've practiced on it as much as you possibly can. I mean, it's been a constant thing every day, working on the tempo, working on the different formations and wide splits that they have and how to play that, and making sure we have leverage on in-breaking routes, and also leverage to play the deep ball. I think what they try to do is just spread you out very quickly and get a couple cheap plays here and now that can break for touchdowns, which are critical. Occasionally, if you spread out too much with them, they're going to run the ball and gash you that way. So you have to have the right combination of how to play all the different extra wide splits and make sure that you do a good job. Certain teams have got crushed by it, and other really good teams have done a good job against it. But that's what they do, and trying to not give up the big play and figure out a way to get a lead on offense will be critical.
Has your bowl prep been any different this time than opposed to 2018, just overall?
Well, I think we've concentrated this time on what we need to do to get better. I think we've had the right combination of working the young guys, giving the older guys a little bit of a breather as we speed up to getting back to full game speed. And I think we've done that this past week. Most guys are feeling pretty good. Today, a few people went down with a few sprains, so they'll be back. And, I think it's just important that you give them a little break, but yet work them and understand that this is still, this season, and we want to finish it off. And we've done a really good job at this point to get to play in this bowl game against a really good Tennessee SEC opponent. But you need to finish what you started. And no matter who's out there, you got to go out there and perform. And we want to do a really good job and play hard and find a way to pull out a win.
How satisfying has this been for you, maybe a little bit personally this season, based on the changes that you had that you wanted to make after last year from a defensive standpoint, and to see the way the defense played? And is there a sense of just a little bit of it's like, okay, you got this thing back rolling the way that you want it to roll from a defensive standpoint?
Well, yes. I mean, I do feel like that as soon as the last season was over, it was disappointing. And I wanted to identify where I thought we needed to get better and how. And from myself all the way down, we've worked hard to get that done. And we got a good crew of coaches in here that worked well together. We've put a plan together that we think our players can execute and allow them to play more aggressive and tougher and challenge things more. And I think it's been beneficial. So yes, to get that back on track in the right direction is great to see. We want to continue to build on it. Being in this league for 5 years now, it's and playing at a high level, you've got to really be good at all three segments. And that's just the way it is if you want to win. The difference in winning and losing is so small that the offense, defense, special teams all have to be winning their battle in order to have a chance to win. If you do that, you could beat anybody. If you don't, you could lose to anybody. And I just think that we've done a good job this year of figuring out things along the way, making a few adjustments, and figuring out ways to win.
Do you feel like you've recaptured some of your aggressive mentality this year? You know, when you look back your first couple of years here.
Well, every year's different. I do want to go down being aggressive. I think we've done that, especially in certain games that has been beneficial. I think we've found a little bit of mix here towards the last end of the season to balance it out and get a little better at the running game, which I think we've got to continue to make strides there, and that's helped. Getting the quarterback in a rhythm and where he's feeling good, where he can go perform, has been beneficial the last so many weeks. He's taken that and run with it. So there's a lot of things you learn along the way. Every year's different. Every team's different. You've got to adjust it to your personnel. You've got to adjust it to what you do well, and you've got to be really on top of making sure in all those three segments that you just can't do what you've done the year before or what has worked in the past. There has to be the ability to watch video, learn from your mistakes, and figure out how to tweak this to get better.
Well, will the roster be intact, Jeff? Is everybody okay academically?
It will probably not be intact, and we'll get some final answers on that later today. We're going to probably be missing a handful of guys, and that's part of it. And whether it's the first game of next year or this bowl season, it's their time to step up and play.
You've been active in the portal, a lot of stuff on social media. I think you've got 7 guys in December, 8 overall. Is it still something you're probably still hitting, aren't you? Always looking?
Well, we're always going to look. We have had some success here recently, so we're pretty far along in that process, and it looks like we'll have quite a few guys coming in here mid-year that will get a chance to prove their worth and get on the field in the spring and throw them in the mix, which is always great. So that'll be beneficial. But from this point on, we've got to be very selective, and we're starting to max that out to a certain degree. But we feel like that we've addressed certain needs and had success up to this point with that.
So will there be some portal guys that arrive mid-year?
There will be quite a few that arrive.
Along with your freshman mid-year guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And just what have you seen from Jack Sullivan now that he's got that spot that George occupied all year? And just how has he kind of adapted to that, and how has he held up during these practices?
Well, Jack's been a great teammate. He's been very unselfish. He's played both positions for us on the weak side and the strong side. I think that he understands it's his chance to really showcase what he's all about. He has really good length. He's got to just go out there and play hard. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to finish to the end, and I think he can do things. He has the ability to do that. Is he? We're going to miss George. Sure, we're going to miss George, but I think Jack has played a lot, and it's his opportunity to go out there and show what he's all about.
Is Brock Thompson good to go?
Well, Brock is going to have surgery at the end of the season, but he's going to play in the game. We've practiced him just a little bit to get him there, and he's going to be a good teammate and go out there and give everything he has.
And your receiving group at the beginning of the year had all the depth you could ask for, but I think as you go into this game, you'd like to have a few more bodies there. Is it just guys are just going to have to play multiple positions and just kind of get in the spots that are just going to work for those plays?
Yes, it'll be some new faces out there for sure, and there will be certain guys playing multiple positions. So that's where we're at, and you know what? Like I said, at some point new faces have to emerge, and we are down some receivers, but fortunately we have quite a few on the team, and they practice a lot and they're giving us great effort, and now they just got to go out there and play, and confidence is going to be important, and for them to go out there and just believe they can get it done and go make some plays for us.